For today's forenoon session on envisioning artificial intelligence, we are fortunate to have with us Dr. K. Chandrasekharan, who is professor working with the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at NITK Surathkal. Dr. Chandrasekharan has 32 years of valuable professional experience at NITK. Dr. Chandrasekharan has completed his undergraduate and postgraduate education from the prestigious IIT Roorkee. He was awarded PhD in the domain of computer networks by Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad in the year 2001. Dr. Chandrasekharan has also received the prestigious Senior Research Fellow in Cloud Computing from IIT Madras in the year 2010. His areas of technical interest and competence include software engineering, blockchain technology, machine learning, cloud and service computing, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, data and knowledge engineering, enterprise computing, social informatics, distributed systems and computer networks. He has published a lot of national and international conference and journal papers and won Best Paper Awards in international conferences. On behalf of the management of St. Joseph Engineering College, Mangaluru, and the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, SJEC, I extend a warm and hearty welcome to you, dear sir. Before we proceed to today's session, here are a few guidelines for the participants to keep in mind. You are requested to mute yourself during the session. We request all participants to ask questions only towards the end of the session. You may post questions in the chat box to avoid congestion. We also request every participant to fill attendance forms using the links that will be shared in the chat box or WhatsApp by 4 p.m. every day. I repeat, by 4 p.m. every day. This is also to inform you that this session will be recorded. Participants are required to take up a quiz at the end of the FTP covering questions from all the sessions from all 5 days. So without any further delay, I now call upon Dr. Chandrasekharan to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you. So, my voice, is it audible to all of you? Can I get some response from anyone?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. One second. Is the presentation visible now? Hello?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Okay. So, good morning to all of you once again. So, at the outset, I thank St. Joseph's Engineering College administration, management, the coordinators, all who have directly or indirectly been contributing to organizing this FTP. So I'm thanking every one of you. I also thank all the participants who are available online to listen to these talks. So thanks to all of you once again. So the topic that I have given is envisioning artificial intelligence. In the introductory message, the HOD of the Computer Science Department of St. Joseph's Engineering College mentioned all the fields like industry and so many. And, I just want to add one more thing. This artificial intelligence cannot be forgotten for our own personal life. And my envisioning artificial intelligence is regarding that. So whether we want it or not, these AI products are going to sit on our head. Whether we are happy or not, those devices, those applications are going to rule us. And so we have to cope up with the situation. And that's the reason that I have put forth this title. So envisioning artificial intelligence is the title or topic of this first session. So these are all the agenda points that I'll be thinking or I'll be covering in this session. So instead of reading this agenda, we will get into the session. So we will try to understand what is going on here. So today, everyone in any discipline, whether you are in science or engineering or technology or medicine or law or any other field, you will be using or you will be saying one or other things that are listed here: artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning, analytics, IoT, cloud, fog computing, blockchain technology, cyber security, and so on. So many of the people, the faculty must be knowing already, at least at the superficial level, on every of these items. But a new person who is jumping into any engineering domain or technology domain or science domain will also come across this and will be curious to know what are these, why are we learning this, or why are we requiring this. So that is what our intention here. One more interruption. So can you all listen to me? My voice, is it audible? Anyone can?
Yes, sir. It's audible, sir.
Okay. So anytime, anywhere, my voice, if it is breaking or not audible, please inform me. Thank you. So we move on, move ahead. So these are all the things that we want to know. So, and we are all interested in learning or using all these things, or at least a few of these things. So if you all look at as if every day, all of us, we read newspapers, technical magazines, and so on. Everybody is interested in putting their efforts, either learning or deploying one or other things using artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is inevitable for all of us. So every company is putting money, investing money in one or other way on artificial intelligence, and that is what the situation today. Why are we doing all these things? Why should we learn something on artificial intelligence? And why should companies invest money on artificial intelligence? As I said, why should somebody put artificial intelligence products on our head and we should be able to survive with that? So if we ask these questions, there is only one answer that's possible. The answer is challenges in all walks of our life nowadays. So what we mean by challenge, or what is the meaning of actual challenge? Many of those audience who have heard me already, that I'll be giving most of the time some examples. So here also I'm giving some examples. One of the examples that's very interesting to me is Uta. In Kannada we say Uta, in general it is food. So what is the challenge in our life with respect to food? Early days we eat idli, dosa, vada. And nowadays people don't want to eat idli, dosa, vada. Burger, pizza, bread butter, bread jam, and so many new items, cornflakes, and various varieties of cornflakes. So that kind of challenge we have to cope. So where from these items will come to us? So we have to think a while. So there are always challenges in our walks of our life nowadays. And these challenges, do give transformative outcomes that are required to meet present day's challenges. So what is the meaning of transformative outcome? Those outcomes which were earlier being witnessed and used by people, were all of very low potential, and today's transformative outcomes are high potential, meaning that we have to do, in order to survive, we have to do more better work, more quality work, more quantitative work, and therefore we will be able to meet the challenges of today's life. For example, why are we meeting all these FDPs nowadays wherever it is conducted through online? It's because of a new challenge that's around us. That's called the COVID-19 pandemic. So the transformative outcome that has come to all of us is from the traditional learning to the online learning, digital domain-based learning. So that is that transformative outcome that we need to face nowadays. It's not only the personal life, business and the society are also looking forward for a newer lifestyle. So what is that newer lifestyle? We need not to have much problems, and we need to be always with happiness. So that is our motto or goal, and that is the challenge that we are all interested in taking it up. So in order to meet these challenges and in order to get into these challenges, in order to get the transformative outcome that we want to have nowadays, the following four are more important. What are those following four? The first one is operational efficiency. The meaning of operational efficiency for my personal life is, if at all I had been doing little work offline or in the traditional way, I have to now do more better work online. And in order to do a better work online, I'll have to learn many things. So only then the operational efficiency will increase. And the performance enhancement is nothing but the outcome, the transformative outcome, and its quantitative and qualitative outcome, should also increase. So performance level should increase. And if at all we had been doing a single work based environment and working lifestyle early, now we should do multifaceted working environment. Multifaceted means once we do some work, simultaneously we may have to do some other work. For example, those who have been working with Python or any other blockchain, Hyperledger kind of technology will be knowing the Hyperledger or Ethereum kind of environment will give the base environment. For giving the input, you require one more tool. To get the output in a required form, you should have another tool. To interact with that environment, you require yet another tool, and so on. So you should be familiar with all these tools in order to work for a single topic called blockchain technology. And that is true for artificial intelligence also. So operational efficiency should increase, and therefore the performance should go up. And we should also work with a multifaceted, simultaneous working environment on multiple tasks. And all these things, will give a boost in our personal and professional life. And that's what the importance of getting into artificial intelligence in our life, also in our professional life. And how do we achieve all these things? We have to have a better computing power for all these above. So if at all we have old style mobile phones, old style laptops, old style desktops, old style computing environment, that and all will not be sufficient. You must be knowing already that every now and then the computing power increases. And therefore the devices that are available in the commercial market also, their capability, quality, all that increase with newer varieties of software, tools and hardware, all that. So we should have a better computing environment. Anyhow, we are not going to talk about computing environment or computing power. So how are we coping up with this operational efficiency, performance enhancement, multifaceted work environment, and therefore boosting personal and professional life? So that how are we going to achieve? it is through ever increasing computing power, as we said already. Also, the development of effective predictive learning algorithms or prediction algorithms. And these prediction algorithms are nothing but a surge in machine learning applications all around. Whatever we do, we are now facing a situation which will be done automatically by some machine, and so the machine learning algorithms. So as a subfield of artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithms have proven to be extremely useful for a wide variety of different tasks, including factory operations and predictive analytics. Though the factory operations and predictive analytics are well known to all of us through reading several technical articles, you must be knowing recently, there were recently means I think just before the corona, there were technical articles that mentioned in India itself, there are hotels in Chennai and Pune that will be having the services done only by robots. So the manual replacement will gradually take place, and some kind of automatic means of implementing our day-to-day work will come up. And that is the essence of having artificial intelligence in our life, personal life particularly. So with that kind of environment, we extensively depend on artificial intelligence in all sorts of works in all possible ways. So whether we want, this is what my earlier statement also, whether we want or not, artificial intelligence based products and the environment is going to be with us, and we have to cope up with that. So this is how we will be able to meet the meaning of what is called artificial intelligence and automation, and the challenges in all our walks of our life. So what is this artificial intelligence? So in the literature, there are several definitions. Here I provide some functional definitions for defining what is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is a suite of techniques that use the past to assess the present, predict the future, and plan action for successful transformation. So our motive was getting into a successful transformation. How is that possible? It is possible if we understood the past of our life, try to understand what is presently available with us, and will be able to predict what is that we are thinking to have, planning to have in the future. So putting all these three corners of the triangle, we should be able to get into the successful transformation. And the techniques, methodologies, tools, whatever it is available for all these things, is together known as artificial intelligence. So that is what the first definition is. Artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence by machines. This is another possible understanding. So whatever machine, we said already that we require high performance computing devices. So what to do with that high performance computing devices? We should be able to simulate the human intelligence in those machines. So simulating human intelligence in those machines, thereby we extract the activities from those machines which are helpful for making our life more comfortable and towards successful transformation. So that is another definition that's possible to understand what is artificial intelligence. There is yet another possible definition. It is the method by which the machines demonstrate certain aspects of human intelligence like learning, reasoning, and self-correction. If you realize yourself, everybody, we can realize ourselves. That's what our country is famous for. So we need to learn something. Every day we learn something. Not necessarily the subject related topics. If you go outside, from the environment, you learn what is that new that you can understand. Then you should also be able to reason out why is it happening, how is it happening, why is it or how is it going to be tackled. So that kind of reasoning that we need to have in our mind. And if at all we are not capable of meeting these reasoning abilities, we should be able to correct ourselves. Instead of somebody else telling us, if we can correct ourselves, that would be good, and that is what called human excellence. So if we think the machines can do all these things, that is called artificial intelligence. So it is the method by which the machines demonstrate certain aspects of human intelligence, like learning, reasoning, and the self-correction. These three together, if we get it through machines, that is again the definition of artificial intelligence. So it is very clear now that artificial intelligence will be around us wherever we go. A simple example that we can understand the meaning and the role of artificial intelligence. So the example is this. Recently in the news article about this, there was a message. So there was a description. So recently Eve was in the news for discovering that an ingredient found commonly in toothpaste is capable of curing malaria. Here is the subject in appreciation, Eve. So if you read that complete article, Eve is not a human scientist who invented that in the toothpaste there is something and that is capable of curing malaria. Rather, it is the robot created by a team of scientists in University of Manchester. And this article was authored by this Vibhuti Viswanathan in 2018. So what is that now you can understand? In the recent TV advertisements in India also you will understand. Somebody is asking, is there any salt in your toothpaste? And how is that salt helping us? Probably you can also invent, do some research, get into artificial intelligence and find out the salt in the toothpaste will cure COVID-19. Possible. You need not to laugh, you need not to worry. So because you must be knowing, every doctor tells you in hot waters you should gargle with salt and tamarind. So that salt, if it is already available in the toothpaste, you need not to search for salt elsewhere. So the toothpaste salt itself, how is it going to be useful in curing the COVID-19? So all toothpaste companies will give you royalty if you do this research. So in that way, artificial intelligence and its role has been established already in many fields. One such example has been narrated here. So it is very clear that artificial intelligence is going to be with us in all our walks of life. So AI, so if we get into the artificial intelligence is very complex. So as shown in this picture, it is so huge, so complex, and how complex it is, you can understand this. Self-driving cars. You must be knowing about these self-driving cars or automated cars. The simplest and the best example is Google car. And there are many companies which are already available in India also, the cars from those companies. So self-driving cars, how intelligent they should be, that you can imagine. Self-driving cars may be a successful one in other countries, but in order to make such self-driving cars a successful one in India, the artificial intelligence should be really naturally intelligent. Otherwise, you cannot make that artificial intelligence embedded into these cars an intelligent, really intelligent one. Because Indian traffic is like that. Whether it is with the corona or not with the corona, the traffic is more or less similar that you can observe in any major metropolitan city in India. So self-driving cars and the complexity of embedded artificial intelligence into these cars are really, really complex, that one can imagine. The other example of understanding the complexity of artificial intelligence is intelligent factories. Most of the modern factories like production units and so on are really intelligent. So everything is automated. Everything is automated, minimizing the human requirement, human intervention. What's the problem with the human intervention? It's mostly attributed as inaccurate, imprecise activities. so that precision and accurate solutions and then performance enhancement and operational efficiency, which we have said earlier, can definitely be attributed and achieved through artificial intelligence. And that's why the artificial intelligence is much preferred in automating the industries. So this is just an example of automated industries. Most of the car manufacturing companies and various other production units, and also even in our day-to-day life, if you think about any simple situation, all have been automated now. For example, even online food purchase is automated. So automation is inevitable. Automation automatically comes to us. So that is where the meaning of artificial intelligence is. So an example of use case of meeting challenges with artificial intelligence. So we said earlier operational efficiency and why does it matter? So we try to answer this question, operational efficiency and why does it matter to us in the context of artificial intelligence and managing the complexity. That is what the context is. So you should be able to relate the context why this question has come now. So operational efficiency is the act of improving all of the processes that support the production of our final product or service. So unless operational efficiency, if it is not exhibited, then the improvement in all our processes will not be there. The meaning of improvement in all our processes, what does it mean? Every task that we do from start to end, all that should exhibit this operational efficiency. Some people can even use the word called workflow. For example, if you start doing some work from the time 0 to time n, and at time n plus 1 you get the product. So time 0 to time n, you do all the tasks in either in sequence or in parallel with some other task. The whole thing is attributed as workflow or the set of processes. And now in every subtask or every sub process in the entire flow, there must be operational efficiency. And that operational efficiency will come through artificial intelligence, and that is what the need is. So this can include evaluating the resource. So how is that operational efficiency going to be achieved? So that achievement is through resource utilization. So any work that we do, there will be naturally some resources. So one of the assessment with artificial intelligence can be whether all the resources are better utilized or underutilized. So that is what the thing is. So resource utilization, analyzing the processes. Analyzing the processes means whether the activities that we do, is there any redundancy, is there any lagging, or is there any process or sub activity not being performing to the expectation, and so on. So in various ways of analyzing those processes, reviewing the production efficiency periodically. So every now and then we should be able to review whether the production unit is it performing well. If you think of an example, reviewing production efficiency in academics, what is that we do? In academics, we do continuous evaluation. Every now and then we give assignments, we give quiz, we also do the what is that? Intermediate internal tests, 3 tests. And in NITs, IITs, we say mid semester exam, and so on. So reviewing the production efficiency, inventory management, whether all the required resources are pulled up in order to meet the processing capabilities, and finally the delivery and the distribution of activities to different levels. So in that way, in every aspect of doing the set of processes or the so-called workflow, we can visualize, we can envisage the meaning of artificial intelligence. So essentially, operations and operational efficiency comes down to one core question. That is, can we produce the same level of a product or service at a lower cost? So if you really look at the resource utilization, analyzing processes and so on, no, how will we be able to reduce the cost? For example, resource utilization. For doing one particular task, if we require 10 resources, Is it possible to get the same delivery of work or product with minimized resources, 8 resources, 6 resources, and so on? So it is naturally an optimization problem. So resources utilization is an optimization problem. Analyzing processes is also an optimization problem, and so on. So finally, it all boils down to how will you reduce the cost? Cost need not to be in the form of monetary benefit. It can be in any form. So that way, so artificial intelligence is going to help us to improve the operational efficiency. So there are ways to improve the operational efficiency that people have said. So I have already said something called workflow. So evaluating the workflow to eliminate the redundancies. So the workflow is start to end. The activities, the tasks or the processes. If at all there are redundancies, redundancy means if at all any duplication of work, that can be eliminated so that the workflow can be very smooth and can be quick. Streamlining the distribution channels. Streamlining is nothing but the processing of the distribution channels or keeping the workflows in a smooth mechanism. So smooth means evaluating and working to reduce the production costs, optimizing the equipment based processes, automating manual processes. So all these can be understood with respect to the better working with operational efficiency. And in all these, so if you get into Google search, so remember one more point that I need not to tell, all these are all very generic statements. So this you can apply to any activity that you think. It can even be applied for academics. For example, automating manual processes. So the early days, just before the COVID-19, PowerPoint presentations were prepared, and there were many means of sharing that PowerPoint presentations. Today, like this Google meeting, Zoom meeting, and so many other online automated processes are available with which we can share our PowerPoint presentations, online meeting with persons, discussions, and so on. So in that way, these generic ways of improving the operational efficiency can be attributed, can be understood in any activity, any task, any production unit that we normally come across in our life. So in all these activities, we use newer technological solutions such as artificial intelligence and analytics. So use of artificial intelligence and analytics is the main goal of getting into operational efficiency. So how will we improve the operational efficiency using artificial intelligence? So improve the production process. So this is again reiterating the same statements, but with different phrases, different ways. Improving the production process, allowing the artificial intelligence technology to find and eliminate the production waste or inefficiency fast. Inefficiency is understood whenever you think about the manual processes. So that can be replaced with the AI technology. It can reduce errors, standardize knowledge, and make complex operational decisions on its own. So this is how the artificial intelligence technology can help us improving operational efficiency. I just want to tell one more thing. Make complex operational decisions on its own. So the word on its own in computer science and engineering has got a different domain. That is also possible to. It is also possible to attach that domain with artificial intelligence. There are already research going on in that. That domain is known as autonomic computing. Autonomic computing means self-realization, self-service, self-understanding, self-repair, self-improving the knowledge, and so on. So artificial intelligence can be attached with autonomic computing, and autonomic artificial intelligence can also be taught, and there are research that are going on around us. So on its own, we must be able to improve the artificial intelligence in order to improve the operational efficiency. So just to cite an example, artificial intelligence software with high-powered cameras could be used as part of the quality assurance process to prevent defects from reaching consumers. So if you imagine, manually people were inspecting the quality of products that can be replaced with high quality cameras. Therefore, the cameras will identify the defects in the products and they will hint us to eliminate those faulty products. So in that way, this could reduce the need for human quality assurance specialists and allow staff to focus more on various other strategic tasks. So just by reading this, you should not conclude that it will eliminate the human power. It is not true. The human power which were used in this process were eliminated by AI products, but that human power which have been now spared, can be put into more other different strategic tasks which are associated with artificial intelligence. So there are many different mechanisms, means that have been designed, devised for retaining the human and their expertise with the company itself. So artificial intelligence, though one side people wrongly say that it will replace the human being, it is not true. And there are many different opportunities for human to get into the development of strategic tasks related to artificial intelligence. So one of the activity in improving the operational efficiency that we said earlier, reduce the operating costs. I'm just illustrating one more example in that context. So in general, we understand operating cost can be renting out something, office supplies, travel expenses, and marketing costs are a necessary part of running a business. So if you think about a business at a superficial level, these are all the contributing to get into the operating cost estimation. And while some expenses cannot be reduced, there are many opportunities for reducing the operating costs with smart technology. So office supplies, travel expenses, marketing costs. Now for all these things, many AI related software products are available. So with those products, you will be able to reduce the operating cost up to some extent. So businesses often overspend on operational costs due to human errors, fraud, and general inefficiencies. This is very much true, and every now and then we read news articles on this. Software-powered AI can take over a variety of manual processes such as bidding for paid advertisements and enhance reported speed and accuracy. This gives executives access to more timely data and make the business more smart and better decisions. So in that way, artificial intelligence products can help us reducing the operating cost, improving the operational efficiency. AI can provide real-time reports about marketing strategies, allowing to cut off spending for an advertisement campaign that is clearly not performing as expected. AI can also be used to predict when machines may break down, so manufacturers can schedule preventive maintenance and reduce the production downtime. So in that way, it's helping us in improving the performance by means of reducing the operating cost. So in that way, we will be able to list different approaches, means, mechanisms, algorithms in all these. So operational efficiency, performance enhancement, multifaceted work environment, improvements and achievements in personal and professional life. So there are several literature papers how the AI and analytics, big data would help us in improving in all these things. We have in the past few slides, we just mentioned a few of operational efficiency related issues. So now when we move on to understand artificial intelligence, AI is an all-rounder now, as of now for us. So you think of AI for humankind, yes. So you must be knowing for mankind, humankind, everybody is nowadays wearing smartwatches. So that smartwatch will tell you how many kilometers you have walked for jogging or walking, and how many calories you have burnt, what is your current heartbeat rate, and so on. So AI for humankind is available. AI to help labor resources available. AI for education available. For the best example is all online resources. and so on. So in every aspect, you will be able to look into the involvement of or the applications of artificial intelligence. So how is that, having understood the artificial intelligence as an all-rounder, how is that we are going to understand the meaning of artificial intelligence for our future? So so madam, everything is okay? Am I audible? Everything goes on smoothly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So your yes is the green signal for me. So then we can now definitely jump into future. So futuristic artificial intelligence is being attempted now. So while no prediction engine has yet been built that can plot the course of artificial intelligence over the coming decade, we can be fairly certain about what might happen over the coming years. So what is this statement saying? It says how much is the artificial intelligence that is going to occupy our work. Is there any prediction? No prediction. No one can say. This is what generally in India everybody, whether it is south or north, we say what is going to happen tomorrow. God only knows. Similarly, what is that artificial intelligence going to do for all of us? Again, we say God only knows. So no prediction engine that has yet been built to tell us this is what tomorrow artificial intelligence is going to do for us. So that is the unpredicted activity relating to artificial intelligence in our world. But we will be able to guess what is that going to happen. That guesswork is the one that is what we are telling now. Majority of our working culture and day-to-day workflow would be depending on AI-based products. This is what the guess. So whatever we try to do now, all might be replaced slowly, one by one, gradually by artificial intelligence-based products. That is what the future is. So in order to cite some of these future artificial intelligence, some of that might already been available in the research world. So the next set of slides are going to tell about this futuristic artificial intelligence. So what is that we want to do? So if you read many different literature books, they have categorized the artificial intelligence in many different ways. So one such way is to understand the category, which is being mentioned in this slide as well as in the next slide. So one such slide is known as limited memory artificial intelligence. So this type of artificial intelligence receives current input and adds pieces of this input to its programmed representation of the world. This can change the way the artificial intelligence makes the current or new decisions. So it is just a decision-making kind of environment, which is very much required or which is very much replaced the human decision-making systems. So virtual assistants, self-driving cars, and so on. So limited memory AI. This is where we are all now. What is the next category called reactive AI? So it is designed for specific tasks, and this AI receives input and acts on this input. They cannot be applied to different tasks, and past experiences do not affect the current decisions. So this is what we mean by reactive AI. And the best example is AI chess player, and you must be knowing the chess play done by artificial intelligence and its success stories. So from here, we want to move to artificial intelligence category, which is of this place. So we have arrived at this place now. Self-awareness. This is what I said. Self-awareness is typically said with a domain name called autonomic computing. So self-awareness is nothing but artificial intelligence at this level would extend the theory of mind to predict the internal states of others. Having achieved human-like consciousness, it might choose to exhibit non-human abilities. So this is what the place where we want to arrive at here. There are little research-oriented products available here. And from here, we want to move definitely on this type of called theory of mind. So this type of AI would have been would have an updatable representation of the world that includes an understanding that other entities in the world also have their own internal states. like what I'm thinking about you, what you are thinking about me, though we don't have any connectivity, that intuition that would come into the mindset. Excuse me. So this is where we want to reach, and up to some extent, people have shown success in reaching this place. And finally, where we want to go to super intelligence, AI that exceeds human intelligence in every field, and we want it to rule us. So super intelligence is the place where we want to go to from the present day. So where we have started our journey of applying AI, this is where the journey of applying AI started. That is just simply replacing our decisions, and thereafter doing some applications or activities, and most of the situations at present are here, and from there we wanted to arrive here, and up to some extent we have been successful, and finally we want to go here. How many more years it will take, God only knows. So this is where or this is how the envisioning of artificial intelligence is, and in order to get into that super intelligence, we need to do some set of activities. So what are those set of activities? In my personal opinion, there are three different activities: automating the processes, gaining insight through data analysis or machine learning and analytics, and finally engaging with our lifestyle. So these three are the main activities. So what is the meaning of automating processes? Everything that we do, no, morning to night, and moment we get up until we go to bed, what all that we do will have to be automated. Of course, as you know, there are some activities that cannot be automated. Maybe you can remember the studies that you have made in parallel computing, that there is a law. I don't want to name that law. I'm leaving it to you for recalling. So every sequential activity cannot be parallelized. There are still some sequential activity that can be left out. So like that, though we say every process around us will be automated, and I'm not thinking very optimistically that every activity that we the human do can be automated. Okay, so that's a different issue. So automating the processes, gaining insight into those automated processes through data analysis, machine learning, and analytics. And when we complete these two activities, finally it will end up in our lifestyle. So these three are the three main different roles that we need to think in order to get into the AI-based future. So I'm just thinking two simple use cases to understand the futuristic artificial intelligence. So everybody knows the email. So transferring, so the email application is known to all of you, so you can read what it is. So transferring data from email and various other applications that we use into systems of record that we need nowadays very interestingly. For example, updating customer files or addresses, reminding our activities to be carried out, and finally the end-to-end day summary, and suggesting a course of action to be done for our betterment. So in all these activities, so I don't find in my personal experience there is an email that will help me in doing all this. For example, if I receive, so what is that I want to say here is, if I receive, so everybody like me, when you open your inbox, you will receive hundreds of emails. At the end of the day, you will forget, or you will get confused, or you will be mixing up with the different issues, that which email with what activity from whom it was received. So in that way, so it is natural phenomena associated with every human being. So when we receive an email, automatically there are categories of folders which will be filled up with the email contents, that this is the email received by so and so, this is the activity that is reminded for you now and to be carried out on such and such a day. So like that, automatic what is called ledger posting, can it take place? I don't know. And similarly, everybody in the human life, end of the day, before you go to bed, somebody will murmur, "Oh, these are all the activities that I did. These are all the activities postponed for tomorrow's work," and so on. So, is there any way to get summarization on the emails? I don't know. So, and finally, suggesting a course of action for betterment from that email activity. So is there any product, a comprehensive product, consolidated product available? Maybe you can tell a solution. So you get into this email and then buy a third party product for doing that, and another third party product doing that, and so on. Finally makes up, put all these third party products. Finally you do not know which third party product will do what. So this is how what is called what is that you call in computer science. So you all often say incompatible. So different products will not work with the different other products cooperatively, and finally you will end up with always problems. So if at all you have a simplified, conclusive solution for such things, it will be better. So the AI may result into such solutions in future, or somebody might be already working and trying to get a product like that. Similarly, another example that came to my mind is this. Nowadays, we read several news articles because of ATM card uh, related issues. So, replacing lost credit card or ATM credit card related issues, automatically, moment the ATM card is lost or some hackers activity or cyber security incident that took place with our ATM card, that message or that activity related securing or protecting our money in our bank, in our account, should automatically reach multiple systems to update the records where all that ATM related messages that were stored being used by me in different situations, all that will be automatically updated, and the stopping of using that ATM card related details automatically should happen. So handle customer communications and thus protecting our bank balance by means of a single button press. So is there any solution available? I don't think any bank, not only in India, even in other countries, gives you a single button press based mobile app for doing this. Anyway, I don't want to tell the bad experiences which I have been reading in different news articles. So somebody else, for example, if your ATM card is stolen or misused, immediately you will get a call from somebody else who is no way connected to the bank or you. How is that third party getting the incidents that took place on your card? God only knows. So, so if you go and inquire at the bank, bank people also will say, I don't know who is this number. So that number person comes to know about the incident that took place from your card, whereas you and the bank, unfortunately, we do not know this. So if at all we have an AI-based product for protecting our bank balance by doing these many different multiple activities, that is going to be a better solution for us. Of course, when you read different other in-depth ideas and the products that are upcoming, there are already solutions that are in the research world for doing this. So these two are the simple use cases that will enable us to understand what is that future AI that we require in our personal and professional lives. So this is the slide that tells you the different AI technologies that have been around us. There is something called, I'm not going to read this entire slide. So there is something called booming trends. There is something called upcoming trends. So the AI, if you look at the whole slide very closely, you will be able to understand that AI have not left even a single place around us. So it is going to play a vital role, important role in all our activities relating to the personal as well as professional life. So that's we need to get into the final understanding on AI leading us to where. So that is what we need to understand. Professors, madam, am I audible? Can I go ahead? Hello, hello. Can I go ahead? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible,
Okay,
sir. You can go
okay,
ahead.
okay. Your delayed response implies me that jovial. I'm telling you all switched on the system and maybe eating breakfast or taking coffee, or somebody might have even slept or left. Okay, so it just whether you laugh or not, I'm just telling this joke. So now we move on to understand AI leading to us where. To answer this, AI leading to the automation that is on the rise, pushing humans aside from the activities that takes more time. So human related activities takes more time. Of course, automation also might take more time. Can anyone tell? I'm just posing a question. Automation also might take more time. Maybe if you think about the online education now we are all experiencing. So the automation is taking more time because why? Why? Because the insufficient bandwidth with which we are all connected. That is the main reason. So we can envision a future where artificial intelligence tends to every little need that we may have, from putting food onto our table and driving us around and even entertaining us. So in all these aspects, we have artificial intelligence products. Taking an active part in our interactions by reading and understanding our emotions, and the very notion of human experience will be redefined. So all these points, that is starting from taking our food, help in that activity, to driving us to our destination, professional office, and so on, and then finally entertaining us. In all these domains, we find artificial intelligence is putting its own contribution. Now, finally, we may also get into a field where the artificial intelligence product will understand our emotions. If we are happy, that also will be happy. If we laugh, that also will laugh with us, so and so on. So finally, all this will lead to a notion of redefining our human experience. So we will have plenty of time to fully embrace the human experience, whatever that is. So human experience will have to be redefined. So I need not to laugh with another human being. I can laugh with a machine. So I can also listen from the machine's questions and I can answer. That's how the life is going to be. That's what people are predicting. So it is easy to think we will reach a point where we all will always be connected all the time, where there will always be a device near to us to hear and understand us, and where there will be a massive databases with everything little that we do to serve us hyper personalized satisfaction to every little need. So what is this statement? This says we need not always talk with another human. We can always talk with a machine, and that machine is built with so many varieties of databases. You can now imagine the big data, unstructured data, and from that unstructured data that comes from the entire environment, you get to the analytics based output that comes to you, which is nothing but you and the machine interacting. So in that way, the machine and the human interaction will be there. So all of us surrender our privacy. So what is the outcome of this? All of us surrender our privacy for comfort's sake. So what is that comfort? We always want to be happy. This is what I said in the beginning, one of the slides. So we always want to be happy and not much problems. So even in the absence of another human being, we have to be happy. So how we can be happy? With the help of another machine. And where is this situation going to lead us? This situation is going to lead us more of cyber related problems like cyber crimes. So what is the new norm for human monitoring? So always, so if you think about, we talk always with a machine and our privacy is surrendered, and we always have a cyber related problem, a new solution which people have already invented. There is a technology called digital twin. So I'm not explaining anything what is called a digital twin. People probably can go through Google search and identify where all it's been applied. So digital twin technology is naturally developed to aid model-based systems engineering. So what is that model-based systems engineering? Digital twin technology, like traditional CAD-based systems, it represents a three-dimensional virtual model of a physical system, such as industrial machines. So, what is that achievement that people get out of this digital twin technology? Digital twin technology allows the real-time monitoring of individual machines or production environments by linking the virtual model with IoT sensory data from the physical environment. So digital twin helps us to parallelly run a physical environment on a virtual environment. So by means of monitoring the virtual environment, you intend to say that you are monitoring the physical environment. So that is the meaning of and the support of digital twin technology. Now same thing is going to be extended to the human life also. So we have already said in the previous slide that we normally now in future going to talk with machines. So when we talk with machines, so that machine human understanding in communication will be monitored by another digital twin, whether this communication is it really sensible one or nonsense one. So that is what we are going to experience. So people are working in this kind of model also. So this model will be extended. What is that model? Digital twin technology model will be extended to humans also, and that is where people say it is an excellent artificial intelligence future. Similarly, other thing that it's also an extension to what we said earlier. Everyone wears identical coveralls. This is nothing but a body area network, body area sensors. Nowadays, body area sensor is available practically only in a fewer applications. For example, patient monitoring or in the military applications and so on. But in the future, for everything, we are going to have sensors stitched with us. So each individual has a number. So it's not number, it is not name and number mixed up or put together. We have a number very similar to what is called IP address of a computer. It's a long alphanumeric code that the system can use to track the movements as they touch the bracelets they all wear to scanners wherever they go. So in that way, all human-related activities will be networked. Similarly, cities are also identified with some kind of alphanumerical digits. So we can realize a system of human lifestyle similar to local area network, wide area network, metropolitan area network, and internet. So there is an article written by Mal Warwick in 2017 who has imagined that we are going to witness, it's a derived information that I am putting here. So we will be experiencing a networked model of human life. So every human being will be understood or identified or addressed as a member, not by means of a name. So in that way, this is also going to be a future. That's what people are thinking. Now, so having said so many things about the futuristics of artificial intelligence, we get into the field of artificial intelligence in education domain. So in education, because all of us, we are in education field. So look at this slide. So we have already education related AI products in terms of applying pedagogy, in terms of adaptive learning, in terms of intelligent tutoring, smart classrooms. So we are right now using smart classrooms and school management systems, automated tools like ERP for colleges, schools, learning analytics, how much percentage people have students have taken for success and so on. So this is a very traditional artificial intelligence being applied in the educational world. So from that place, now we have to move on what is called federated learning. So Google is working on. So Google AI block, if you get into, you will get more details on federated learning. What is the meaning of federated learning? A simplest common Indian understanding is bring the best out of everywhere to our place. So if it is something best available elsewhere, bring that best to my company and make use of such bests which are available in different companies, so that I will also become a successful person along with others. There's no competition, but I also grow along with others. That kind of learning environment is very much required. So federated learning, which is a concept derived from distributed computing, distributed learning in the domain of learning. So we have a mechanism of developing a product. So such means is going to come from what is called applying artificial intelligence in learning, particularly in future. And finally, what is that we are all thinking? We all need to accelerate the system of our insights. You remember why is that artificial intelligence required? We had something called past. We are living with something called present. We are all thinking about the future. So in order to get into a bright future, we require what is called artificial intelligence in terms of relating the past with the present, getting into the future. So that is what the insight is. So how is that insight is now? So we have something called all these things. The learning capacity, acceleration capacity is in terms of deep learning, speech analytics, natural language, and artificial intelligence enhanced analytics solutions. So in all these four emerging building blocks, artificial intelligence is uh, contributing. So you do not have to distinguish each of these from artificial intelligence. In deep learning, in terms of neural networks, you have deep learning contributions. So in that way, in every aspect of these four building blocks, there is a contribution of artificial intelligence. So if you think analytics alone, so we said already something on analytics. So if you think analytics alone, what is the role of artificial intelligence that we can imagine? So one of the imagination that we can have with respect to applying analytics using artificial intelligence is to think like this: can your data talk intelligently? So assuming that every day I get 50 WhatsApp messages. 50 is at a very minimal low side to any Indian human today. In, moment to morning you get up and open WhatsApp, you get minimum 50, goes up to maximum 500. For people, small ordinary people, if you are an extraordinary person, you will get a uncountable number of data messages. So what is that you can get out of that data or message intelligently? Is there any intelligent way of inferring that WhatsApp messages? Where is the role of artificial intelligence? Can anyone think? So we will be able to get AI, artificial intelligence, plugged into data management systems that aim to do just that. That is, talking with the data intelligently. Unearthing new insights from data analytics is coming up. Deploy analytics to predict data outcomes. Unifying data across platforms. This, of course, is also yet to take place. For example, can I get the data of WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, and so on, get a new inference, a new insight of what is that today's work for me. So unifying data across multiple platforms, multiple applications, that is also is on the pipeline. So the AI in analytics is nothing but how intelligently you can talk with the data or the information that you get instantaneously every moment. That people already have devised called explainable artificial intelligence. So assuming that I'm living in Mangalore, Urvastur area. Now I want to go to Pumpwell. So I go there and search for a new house. So different brokers tell different ideas. So assuming that I have a new artificial intelligence based software which helps me in identifying what all the flats available for hiring or renting. So I get something, some answer. So from the answer that I get from those automated or search outcomes, can I get a better house which I can trust, which is not so expensive, which is more worthy for my money? So that kind of questions that arise in my mind. There is no answer from those already existing solutions. So probably I may get into an artificial intelligence based solution, which would tell an explainable AI model, which tells, yes, this is the money that you are going to pay as a monthly rent. This is the amount that you are going to invest as the one time, what is that called, advance. So for that money, this is worth in that particular location. That kind of advisory or decision making support in many different uh, activities around us in day to day life, if at all we get as a helping hand from artificial intelligence, that would be better naturally. So that is called explainable AI. So can anyone think? I'm just asking a question. So explainable AI, I have said with the help of looking for a rented house in a new location. Can you think of an explainable AI solution in online teaching? Any answer? Anybody wants to say something? You can even type something in the chat box. Madam, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any answer from anyone? Okay, so I assume that everybody has understood everything about explainable AI, and there are several examples that are coming out from the audience. So I'm skipping that question, and later, if at all required, I will answer. So explainable AI is again a futuristic AI that's going to be with us. So explainable AI, so explainability is going to be a better one. So desired situation is this. So with respect to the performance is at present somewhere here. We require the performance, also the explainability to improve upon on devising the solutions. So having said so many things about the futuristic of artificial intelligence, there are several misconceptions about artificial intelligence. So many people think that artificial intelligence is more intelligent than humans. This is what in one of the slides earlier I said we want to go to a situation where artificial intelligence is more intelligent than humans. But in my personal understanding, it's never going to come. So current AI has not yet mastered in that way, and in my personal opinion, the AI cannot be more intelligent than humans. AI is synonymous with the robots, so this is not correct. AI is tele-robots that are the same thing. So in that way, different people give different misconceptions about AI. So we need to read and understand to the extent that what is right, wrong. So this is how we need to conclude by reading these articles. So there are misconceptions and different wrong opinions about artificial intelligence. So we should overcome from all these things and understand what is really reality. So there are many challenges for artificial intelligence. So there are the challenges, for example, it is hard to integrate cognitive projects with existing processes and systems. What is the meaning of cognitive projects? Like mental intelligence, integrating mental intelligence or human intelligence with the existing systems and processes is somewhat difficult or highly difficult. Technologies and expertise are too expensive. This, of course, people are trying to overcome. Managers don't understand the cognitive technologies and how to work because managers have different opinion on different processes. We can't get enough people with expertise in the technology. This is also true. People with AI expertise is very limited, and this is where my invitation to all of you, and I invite all of you to do research. You need not to think about a PhD in order to invent a new solution on artificial intelligence. So you can get AI based products are for your own routine solution. For example, the other day, our Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned a student who has developed an AI product which helps the police people. Excuse me. So in that way, a student who has invented an AI product which helped the police people in this Corona-19 COVID pandemic time, no, is really fantastic. So like that, there are many different solutions people have been inventing. So I request all people who are listening to this talk, the entire FDP, also to come forward to contribute. So technologies are immature. That is not true. We can invent different technologies, algorithms, and people are working on that. Technologies have been oversold in the marketplace. This is true up to some extent because of the over marketing strategies that companies follow. So this is how we can list out the challenges of AI. Many of these challenges can be understood, and we can devise mechanisms to overcome these challenges. So on summary, artificial intelligence is now a very vast domain of working in academics, research, and industry. You remember artificial intelligence when I stepped into my teaching profession, it was a new subject, artificial intelligence, with some flavor. And the artificial intelligence subject today, is totally with a different new flavor. So we need to understand this domain and its importance in academics, research, industry in a very clear-cut manner. Whether you are in computer science or IT or any other branch of study, you should get involved in this domain so as to cope up with the future. So this is more true that this is what I said, whether we want or not, a common man wants or not, the artificial intelligence products are going to be with us. With respect to research, some of the AI research will bring some good and dramatic increase in human capability. Users of artificial intelligence would benefit by paying close attention and integrating the breakthroughs as quickly as possible. So there are many different products that are on the pipeline which are going to be with us in terms of its utility. So of course, anything that we invent, anything that we invest our time, money, and so on, finally there should be something called utility. So that utility is going to be a high breakthrough achievement in terms of realizing artificial intelligence and its products in our life. So that's all from me as summary. So I have just started the talk with respect to why is this artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so on. And the answer was, we all are trying to move towards a better life. So better life is nothing but better comfort. So better comfort requires better solutions. So that better solutions is the domain where the artificial intelligence is going to contribute. So that is where the journey of presentation was. And we looked at different futuristic artificial intelligence products that are around us, either in the research world or are going to be in the pipeline for our commercial world. So with these few things, I invite every one of you to go through various news articles, get into artificial intelligence, learn something new, apply those something into your domain of working. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. And again, I thank the organizers of this FDP, the college management, for giving me an opportunity. If at all you have any question, please ask me.
I request participants to post queries in the chat box.
So
Participants, kindly post queries in the chat box if you have any now.
Yeah, Miss Evita, all the chat box messages are only good morning, how are you, madam? Yes, fine, all that only. So that means everybody is fine with artificial intelligence. I'm just jovially telling this. Those who know me well know that statement that I'm going to say now. Even when we physically gather together and listen to the teacher, we don't ask questions. So where is the chance of asking questions online? It is totally not possible.
So there
So
is one query.
okay,
What is the scope of federated learning?
federated learning. Federated learning is the learning from multiple sources, and that's the simplest way of understanding. For example, you are listening to AI from me. Similarly, if somebody else also tells artificial intelligence about artificial intelligence, how will you be able to make? This is what I told. If you remember, if there is something called best available in multiple places, bring those best things into our domain, in our activity. So when you bring all those bests into our activity, that is called federated learning. Hope I have simplified the answer and you have understood that.
So there
So
is one more query.
please.
Can you give an example for how AI is used in automation?
Oh God, automation is well known in the simplest understanding is car manufacturing. You think of any car manufacturing industry because everyone is having one or other variety of a model car. So car manufacturing industry is the best thing to understand about the automation.
Thank you, sir. There is another query. How is AI useful in the labor department?
Oh, so labor activities. If you think about labor activities, labor in the sense that I'm thinking colloquially. So I'm thinking labor in the sense that continuous workflow from in the working hours. So all those working hour duration, no, people do different activities. For example, you think of an automation industry. So every activity that we try to do is now being automated. For example, you think about our MRPL in our Mangalore. So the automation front panel for monitoring the factory. So the engineers who are sitting in front of the panel automation panel, no, they also are expected to do different activities. So there may be activities which might have been automated with the help of artificial intelligence. So the human are only monitoring the different values of data, and if at all required, there is some kind of manual intervention. Otherwise, it is just the manual monitoring kind of activity. Hope I have given a possible explanation. Yeah, any other question?
No, sir. No more queries.
Okay, thank you. So thanks to once again the organizers and the college management administration for giving me the opportunity and listening to me, the audience. Thanks to all of you. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Chandrasekharan, for delivering an insightful session on AI and its applications, futuristic AI, the role of AI in and its impact on our day-to-day lives, and for also answering the queries of our attendees. Thanks to all the participants for being patient listeners and actively participating and putting your queries in this FTP. A little brief on the next session before we close. The afternoon session on recent advancements in ML, that is reinforcement learning, supervised and unsupervised learning, will be delivered by Dr. Lakshmana Kumar Ramaswamy, Associate Professor in the Department of CSC, Hindustan College of Engineering, Coimbatore. The session commences at 2 p.m. sharp, so we request all the attendees to log in at least 5 minutes prior to the commencement of the session. The link to join the session or the Google Meet is shared on the WhatsApp group and is also mailed to your email IDs. I also request the participants to please complete the attendance formalities. The link to share to give your attendance for today's session is already posted on the chat box. Thank you one and all. I hope you had a fruitful session.